Welcome all to NFL Pub Hub. Happy Sunday, November 24th to all of you. Thank you for watching us right here on Pub Sports Radio. A giant Sunday awaits, and we have a monster show for you guys. Bobano getting us started, then Dutch Boy Fresh, Ramone Scott, Mr. Goster making his season debut, LJ from H-Town currently ranked second out of 30 cappers here on the show. The big Ragu back in business, JT, and Rod Zaki making his NFL Pub Hub debut. Great to see all you guys here in the chat. Justin McKelvey with his stacks play today 1 and 2. McCaffrey over 107.5 rush and receiving, and Connor over 99.5 rush and receiving. Alt line for Connor at plus 160. We got T-Moss in the house. Troy Torrance had added two three-leg 6-point teasers, 6.5-point teasers here. Let's get them all locked and loaded. Yeah, Frank, Virginia, that was horrible watching that hockey game last night. I felt terrible. I was so bullish on the Senators, and then the Canucks lose Hughes to a major in game misconduct in the first period, and they get a 5-minute power play, and oh my God, no Besser, no JT Miller, no Quinn Hughes, and I still lose that bet. That one hurt. I apologize for being so bullish there. Kevin Foster with his SGP here in the house. Razor sharp picks ready to get to work. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. We have Neil Slow, Nuke Worker, Tori Coker, Ronnie Lofton, T-Moss with his alt line parlay, Nate Dogg 420, Ecom Bo Jackson, Jonathan Yim, Old E. Great to see all of you guys. Season's running nice. The season is running nice. We're on a nice roll. Big week again here. 70 and 55 now after cashing the Nick Chubb over 14.5 rush attempts on the Thursday night. And comfortable with my action. Minnesota, Chicago under 39.5 minus 110. I kind of want to add the Bears, but I don't know if I get to the window. The Dondre Swift information is going to be crucial here. New England, Miami over 46. Buccaneers minus 5.5. Giants team total under 19.5. Panthers plus 11. Broncos minus 5.5. Packers minus 2. And Arizona, Seattle under 47.5. I realized that I didn't send Jose my Colts action. Maybe he can have. Sorry, Jose, that was my first bet of the week. I didn't add it to that list, so maybe next time it pops up, you can add my Colts here. Yes, and the Colts is a very pick that's giving me a lot of heat on YouTube, a lot of negative heat for my Colts action. And it's the first game we're going to talk about here with Bobano. So I'm a little nervous about that. Nordy in the house, Lamont Williams, Dan Kelly on Panthers plus 11 and money line. I love hearing that. But Kyle Hinley says, please don't bet the Panthers today. I am betting the Panthers today. I am. There's Nasty Nate in the house. So Bo Jackson says he might take the Colts. Econ Bo had a great day yesterday. There's Michael Johnson, Mike Doyle, Michael Johnson, Ronnie Lofton, ready to get to work here. Pub Sports circa millions. We did our votes. The Chargers and Chiefs were 7th and 6th. They didn't make it into our card. We have the Commanders 5th at minus 10, 66%. Cardinals at a pick 'em. Eagles minus 3. Broncos minus 6. And Buccaneers minus 6. Those were the top 5 that made it into our Pub Sports circa millions. We're 29, 25, and 1. We are 1,274th out of 5,816. So Bo Jackson says Travis Kelce might set a record against the Panthers today. Well, he only had 8 yards receiving last week, which made me happy because I am on his under 850 receiving yards today. Nordy, member of We Be Pubbin'. We love you, Nordy. Jim Dewigger on the Vikings Bears over. Interesting. Okay, Jim, that makes me a little uncomfortable as I'm on the other side. Let's talk about notable injuries right off the hop. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy is out and Brandon Allen is starting. When we were going over my action, the one thing that I wanted to bring up is I have the Packers minus 2.5 from Tuesday, and some people got it at 2. I was at 2 in the contest, and I'm interested in middling. I'm interested in going for a middle in that one with the 49ers. I haven't pulled the trigger there. I was wanting to see if this would move to a 6. It hasn't yet. Still 5.5 for the Commanders. Quarterback Marshawn Lattimore is out. Still hasn't practiced yet. The Chiefs will once again be without Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco is not back. Texans will have Will Anderson back. That's important for them. The Cowboys will have all-pro cornerback Deron Bland making his season debut. Unfortunately, cornerback Trayvon Diggs and guard Zach Martin did not travel with the team. They are out. And Eagles wide receiver Devonta Smith is out for Sunday Night Football. All right. That's the information. Now let's get to work. 8 top cappers giving out their best sides, totals, and player props. Every single pick that's given out here is tracked. Let's get to work. Please welcome your first guest. He's the star of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. He's star of the Ice Guys. He's star of Thursday Night with Betting with the Bag. And he is the star of the OG NBA show on the Ski Profit YouTube channel. Please welcome our friend from Canada's Steel Town, Black and Yellow, Hamilton, Ontario, our friend Bobano. How are you doing, Bobano, my man?
Doing good, Jimmy. Always good on an NFL Sunday. How are we doing?
We are doing great. Let's get right to work, my friend. This game I've taken so much heat for on our YouTube page, being on the Colts, as if I'm horrifically disrespecting the Detroit Lions. That's a tough fan base. That's a fan base you don't want to mess with. And they've been coming after me for my take on this game, even though I'm on the Lions to win the division. I'm on the Lions over 10.5 wins. They're the class of the league right now. But I'm taking a lot of heat for my action on the Colts. Let's go over the line history here for our first game on the board. Oh, you got to be kidding me. It's just not loading here. Maybe we'll... Okay, I'm going to have to already switch to a different book for... Oh, no, there we go. Line shopping. Okay, here we go. So we have a plus 7s. We see 7s everywhere, but 7.5 is what's listed here. This was at minus 116. If you want Detroit, minus 7.5, plus 105. This opened up as an 8 at a pick'em and basically a 7 right now. Let's get to the total here for this one. From a total perspective, we have a 50. You see 51s and 50.5s out here. This 50 is juiced minus 115 to the over, but this opened up at 50.5 and minus 106. So it basically has not moved. When we get to the cash flow, we have 80% of the tickets on the Lions, just 48% of the cash, 20% of the tickets on the Colts, 52% of the cash. It's a comfortable place. What's uncomfortable is betting against the Lions. 73% of tickets, 72% of cash on the over. A pretty healthy group, but the Lions cornerback group is beaten up a bit. Terry Arnold's been bad all year, but he's out now. Emmanuel Mosley is expected to play, which is a big deal. He was full practice participant. Ennis Rakestraw out. Now, he's not as important as Terry Arnold, but that's the situation. Just the cornerbacks that are on list. Now, we know Anzalone, out for 6 to 8 weeks. The injury list is growing for the Lions, but just the injury report of non-IR. And the Colts are a healthy group. Just Bernard Raymond, offensive tackle, is out. Take it away, Bobano. Lions, Colts.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colts in a different manner. Team total with the Indianapolis Colts. I do think they can move the football. They're a run-first offense with Anthony Richardson, just because he can run with the ball. Throwing can be a little bit erratic. And when you look at the injury situation with Detroit, Alex Anzalone is a huge loss too, because he mans the middle of the field. I think it's an area the Colts can attack with that running game and get Jonathan Taylor involved as well. And I think there's going to be some opportunities for them to at least keep their offense on the field, sustain drives, and ultimately put up points. The problem is with taking Indianapolis plus the points, which I'm not doing, is I don't know if I trust their defense, though, to hold up against this Detroit offense, which is just a juggernaut. They can do whatever they want when they're on their game. One of the best offensive lines, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jamison Williams is coming on strong now. Probably the best duo at running back in the league, Montgomery and Gibbs. I mean, they could really do whatever they want. I still don't love what I'm seeing from the Colts defense. Even with getting Buckner back, I've been underwhelmed with the way they've played. So I worry about that as far as the plus points, but you can't love this spot for Detroit. They've got some injuries. They're off that big-time blowout against Jacksonville. They had the barn burners 2 weeks in a row with Green Bay and Houston, and there's a long-term ATS angle that says teams off a massive 35-point or more blowout win or really bad ATS the next week. We'll see if that causes Detroit to be at least in trouble here as far as covering the number. But I don't trust the plus the points because I don't trust the Indy defense, but I do like them to move the ball. So I'm going to go Colts team total over 20.5 minus 122, and I will go full game over as well. We can get a flat 50 minus 110 on that.
You are locked and loaded. Bobano firing away. Next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, Dallas Cowboys 3-7, 3-2 on the road at Washington Commanders 7-4, 4-1 at home at Northwest Stadium, Landover, Maryland, 56 Fahrenheit, sunny, 7 miles per hour. As we said, Deron Bland making his season debut, but But, and it's a big but, they have Trayvon Diggs and Zach Martin not traveling with the team, cornerback and guard, important pieces of the puzzle. CeeDee Lamb, good to go. He was on the injury report all week, but he is fine and good to go. And another issue is Marquise Bell, safety for the Cowboys. He's on injured reserve. They waived KJ Henry. They activated Chuma Adoga. They activated Marshawn Nealand as well. So they will be added to this squad. And of course, Marshawn Lattimore still nowhere to be found on the practice roster. All of the questionable players other than that for the Commanders are in. Let's get into the line history for this one. This total opened up at 45. It's now at 45.5, but it's heavily juiced to the under. So basically no movement on the total. On the spread, we have 11. So this is the first time I've seen the 11 here on the board. We saw 10.5. Looked like it might go back to 10, and we saw some 10s, but now we've seen 11. So it's the first sign here that cappers are bullish, or the books are starting to be concerned about the cash on the Commanders. Let's take a look at that cash too. 72% of the tickets, 71% of the cash on the Commanders, 78% of tickets, 72% cash on the over. Bobano, my friend, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, this is until I see something that tells me otherwise. We've been going pretty consistently against Dallas here these last few games, including Monday night with Houston team total over. Until I see something that changes, I'm compelled to go against them again. I've got Washington -10, -118. I also have Washington team total over 27.5, -118, and also full game over 44, which you can find at -122. I'm totally fine with Washington offense. People are starting to panic, from some of the people, at least I talked to. You played Philadelphia and you played Pittsburgh the last 2 weeks before your bye week. Two very good defenses. And Jaden Daniels wasn't 100% with the rib issue. From all indications, he's as healthy as he's been in weeks. The bye week really helped. This Dallas defense is horrible. We know that, especially against the run. Brian, it's just a great matchup, too, for Washington, because they do like to run the football, and Brian Robinson can do that. I think the quarterback run game can do some serious damage on Dallas. Just reminds me of the Lamar Jackson game a little bit, what he did to that Dallas defense. So I think Washington gets back on track. They put up 28+. I don't trust Cooper Rush in the offense to keep pace with Washington's offense for 60 minutes. But the reason why I'm on the full game over is because I do think they can chip in a little bit. They did move the ball at times last week against Houston. Problem is they didn't finish drives well enough. See if they can do a better job with that. But for me, 3 bets: Commanders spread, Commanders team total, full game over.
I got the team total and the full game over. What was the +10 you got at?
Or -10 was -118.
-118. You are locked and loaded. Washington spread and team total and full game over 44, -122. We roll on. Next up for us, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at New York Giants MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. While I was capping this and we learned about the Daniel Dimes situation, I just became more and more bullish on the Buccaneers and more questioning what the Giants really expect to accomplish with Tommy Cutlets at quarterback. And I also jumped on the team total under for the New York Giants. I got that at -133, the team total over under 19.5, which I thought was a discount, and I bet more than a unit on it. It's now right now -165, that team total under 19.5. Here, shout out to the Skunk Blaster in the house. Bucks money line the under 44 at +110. That's another thing. I almost moved on the under this morning, but I'm like, I got this great deal on the Giants team total under. Do I really need to get triple up? Because I'm also on the Buccaneers -5.5. The Bucs will have Mike Evans back in business here, but Malik Neighbors was a late addition to the injury report this week. He didn't practice Friday due to a groin injury. Kayvon Thibodeau was a full participant, so he's expected to be good to go. But what if Neighbors isn't in the lineup? Let's get to the line history here. We have a -6 at -109 for the Buccaneers. It makes it sound like now -110, just moved to -110 2 minutes ago. Are there 6.5s on the way? I hope so. That will make me feel better about the situation. And the under 40.5, I took a very long look at here. I could have got a 41 juice this morning. Now it's a 40.5. It keeps dropping. Maybe I'm okay with my situation. And that's what I decided not to triple up on the spot. But 83% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on the Buccaneers. It's public. The market's moving in the direction. I agree with it. 16% of the tickets and 46% cash on the under. Bobano, take it away. Next spot on the board, Buccaneers, Giants.
You know what? I know for a fact I've gotten in trouble taking Tampa as a road favorite, and they're not in the greatest role under Baker Mayfield here, but it shows you how low I'm on the Giants right now at this point in time. It's not only that they played badly and lost to lowly Carolina before the bye week, but I just don't know how the team rallies around all the shit that's gone down this week with Daniel Jones. I really don't. And to me, Tommy DeVito, okay, Tommy Cutlett's story was fun. He had that shocking win against Green Bay. I think he's still living off that because really outside of that, he hasn't been very good, quite honestly, as an NFL quarterback. Not to mention, has that offensive line gotten better just because Daniel Jones is gone? That's still the offensive line that's letting their quarterbacks get pulverized every single week. And that's probably what you're concerned about, even with Tommy DeVito here once again at center. They have a terrible offensive line. Tampa's getting healthier. That I like. Tampa gets Mike Evans back. I think Tampa, even with some struggles, look at their last two losses. I mean, right in the games, both times. They could have beat Kansas City, lost in overtime, lost by 3 against San Francisco before the bye. Now they get Mike Evans back. I think their offense can have a lot of success. Don't trust the Giants defense. They can at least make the pass rush can be there for the Giants at times, but they can throw all over that secondary, which is lousy. And I don't know if the Giants offense can keep up for 4 quarters. Good spot for Tampa. I wonder what the psyche is right now, this Giants team. I think it's in a bad way. Yeah, I'm on Tampa here as well. -6, -110.
Bucks -6, -110 for Bobano. Shout out to our guy, the Skunt Blaster, giving us the Bucks money line and the under 44 together at +110 with a dono and gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. Thank you so much, the Skunt Blaster. Yeah, and I feel I'm going to let the under go. I'm over a unit on the team total. I want to hit it again, but I think I'm going to let it go just in case the Giants just lay down. Do I really want to mess with the profit?
That's why I didn't add the team total, because I did bet the team total over for the Bucks, but I could see 20-6 too, where the Giants just do nothing and Tampa just sits on it with the lead.
Kyle Hintley making a monster bet with the Chiefs and Bucks money line parlay. Kyle Hintley makes big boy moves there. My guy Sancho in the house. Great to see you. Lamar Williams says, yes, sir. I love Tampa Bay, my team. Let's roll on the next spot on the board. New England Patriots and Miami Dolphins. We're at Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida. 74 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 9-mile-per-hour winds. The Patriots, as always, have just an enormous amount of players on their injury report. We expect them all to play except for Jacqueline Roy. Everybody else we expect to be in the lineup. So Christian Barmore, 20 snaps last week. Does he get a few more? Probably. They're easing him back in. Let's get into, and for the Dolphins, Kendall Fuller out. And Tron Armstead has not practiced all week. So I don't know if he can just roll in. He's been able to before. Let's get into, not practice all week and still play. Let's get into the line history here for this one. This total is dropping, and I'm on the over. It makes me uncomfortable to see it drop right now. This was a 46.5. 3 hours ago. It's now 45.5. It got down to heavily juiced to the under 45.5. And then there was just 8 cents of buyback 3 minutes ago, which makes me feel a little better. This over 45.5 went from -101 to -109 3 minutes ago. So I'm happy about that move. On the point spread here, the Dolphins are 7s there. If you want the 7.5, this opened at 7.5 for the pick 'em. It went down to 7. It's back at 7.5, but it's +101. So we've still had 7 cents of movement towards the Patriots. I thought all week about backing the Dolphins on the side. Second home game in a row. They're shaping up. Is Drake May, who threw 40 passes last week, going to just come out and sling it all over the field against this team and keep the Patriots in it? When the Dolphins finally get over 30 points and finally their playmakers start smiling, they feel good coming to the stadium. But I haven't moved on it yet. 40% of the tickets, 39% of cash on the Patriots, 31% of tickets, and 52% of cash on the under. I mean, it looks like it's sharp action. It makes me very nervous. Take it away here, Bobano, Patriots, Dolphins.
Well, here's the Miami games to take away some of that nervousness since Tua's been back. 55, 57. Okay, the Rams game was low scoring, but it was Monday night. Let's keep that in mind. And then 53 last week against the Raiders. And look at, as far as the Raiders game, because I was on Miami minus the points in the team total over. I was not on the full game over that game because I didn't trust the Raiders offense in that game. But the Raiders moved the ball probably into Miami territory every drive they had. The Miami defense was really not stopping Gardner Minshew and the Raiders very much. Just fortunate they scored on every possession. They had some big plays. Tua was slinging it. They still won and covered, went over their team total, but they didn't really do a great job stopping the Raiders offense. Now you got Drake May coming in. He can run with the football, extend plays. which is big because the front for Miami's played better. And I think they can move the football and do enough points. I mean, I didn't love what I saw from the Miami defense. Really, these last 4 games outside of the Rams game, I haven't been impressed with Miami's defense. They've kind of struggled. So I think New England can contribute to this over. And I definitely think Miami's going to score 28, 31, something like that against this New England defense, which we know hasn't lived up to the preseason billing that a lot of people thought. So I'm right there with you with this over. It's actually 45, believe it or not, flat 45 now, minus 112. So at Bet Online. So we'll grab that.
You are locked in over 45 minus 112, 3 a.m. Good morning to you. Let's get to work, my friend. 3 a.m. thinking that the Lions and the Chiefs are both traps, saying, Troy saying that he's betting against both of them. But, Kyle Hentley and asking 3 a.m.'s taking the Panthers money line, which I am not. But I'm on the plus 11. I can but we'll talk about it at some point here. It is going to be talked about on the show. Well, next up for Bobana, 1 p.m. Eastern, Tennessee Titans 2-8, 1-4 on the road to Houston Texans, 7-4, 4-1 at home. We're at Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. Danico Autry, questionable at this point. Foley, Fatukasi, and Blake Fisher are out for the Texans, but they're getting healthier, and Will Anderson back is a big deal. For these Titans, L'Jarius Sneed out of the lineup, Tyjae Spears out of the lineup, so big losses there. Let's get in, and Roger McCreary is on this list with Justin Hardy is questionable, 2 cornerbacks that they must have on the field if they have any hope of slowing the Texans down, which they have been able to do all year long, passing wise. We have on the spread the Titans at plus 7.5 at minus 101. This opened up at 9. This is a pretty legit move towards the Titans. The Texans haven't looked very good of late, but Nico back now for a second game, mixing and rolling. This total is at 40. It's juiced to the over. This opened up at 42. It's dropped 2 points down to 40. When we get to the cash flow for this, 27% of the tickets and 43% of the cash on the Titans. I mean, it's moving the number. It looks like it's a sharp side, but I haven't been able to go back to the Titans since early in the season when I lost 3 times on them, and I just watched how bad. Well, now Levis has been a little better after sitting there for a little while and watching. Still, I don't care. It's a sharp side. I don't want to have money on the Titans anymore. 77% of tickets, 61% cash on the over. Take it away, Bo Bano. Next spot on the board, Titans, Texans.
Yeah, this is for me. I'm going to take Houston -7, minus 126. We'll lay just a little bit more of a price to get the 7 at Pinnacle, which is good. Get that key number, but look, I'm not. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes the worst thing you can do is try to be proactive and reinvent the wheel. When you're talking about a team that has 1-9 against the spread, that's Tennessee, and you've been fading them repeatedly and cashing in. Why would you stop? And that's where I'm at with the Titans right now. I'm with you, though, with Levis. Levis has been a little bit better, but he's still hanging onto the ball a bit too much. And with Will Anderson there and that pass rush against that Titans offensive line, that's a worry, because that's when Levis makes his mistakes, when he's under pressure. And you would think the pressure rate is going to go up for Houston's defensive front now having Anderson available to them in this game. The one concern is Houston's been really, really bad winning by margin and as bigger favorites, okay? So that's the part of this bet that makes me leery. But when this Tennessee team has failed over and over again to step up and cover point spreads, even though they've been power rated as one of the worst teams in the NFL, you just have to say, you know what, keep at it until you see the number catch up to them, and it still hasn't. So I'm going to get in with Houston, -7, minus 126. I debated whether I was going to add this. I will add this, though. The over 40, minus 110. And here's the reason. I think as far as this game goes, the total's fallen a bit too low now. It was 43.5 down to 40 now in some spots. I think Houston can move the ball in that secondary. And again, Nico Collins back. You saw it last week, just a difference maker for that Houston offense. They're a lot better. And I have seen Levis move the ball. And if he can do that again, to me, that a little bit, at least in this game, I think the total now is just a bit low.
Over 40, minus 110, and Texans -7 at minus 126. Next up, we have 4:05 p.m. Eastern action. Denver Broncos 6-5, 3-3 on the road. Las Vegas Raiders 2-8, 1-3 at home. We're at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Some concern about Zach Allen, who's now become such an enormous part of this defense. Zach Allen with a heel injury is questionable. Certainly need him in the lineup. 5 sacks. He's signed a big contract. 12 tackles for a loss in 11 games. If he's not there, then Jordan Jackson will start. And, it's a definite drop, but that's the situation here that's concerning anyone back in the Broncos like myself. For the Raiders, they're beat up. They're so beat up right now. They have Madison and Zamir White both doubtful, so this terrible running game is going to look even worse today. We have Cody Whitehair, also a guard that's questionable to play, beat up. Cornerback Nate Hobbs out. Cornerback Jacorian Bennett out. Oh, wow. That's incredible, 3 a.m. Wow. Drew Bannister fired, Jim Montgomery hired.
Oh, yeah, that's been out for a couple hours now.
Wow, that's that I did not know that. Thanks.
It's the shortest amount of time that a recently fired head coach has been unemployed. That's what I said. It's got to be
great. I like that. That's great. I don't like Bannister being fired necessarily, but back to the spot here. We have the 41 is the total right now. This has gone up from 40.5. So this is the first total that we've seen that's climbing. All the others have looked like they've been dropping thus far. So we have the 1-point move at a pick'em here, and on the side right now, from a side perspective, we have these Broncos at -5 right now. Makes me nervous. I got him at 5.5. I was hoping, this was a 6 on Friday. I was hoping we'd see a 6.5 right now. So I just, with Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback, and Peyton trying to prove himself again, like out for blood right now, I just don't see where is the. Like with the Detroit Lions seem to not have letdown spots. They don't seem to have letdown spots. So I sort of feel like the Broncos are the same way. And yes, it's a public side, but it's a public side that on 73% of the tickets, 81% of the cash on the Broncos, 80% of the tickets, and 64% of cash on the over. Take it away for us, Bobano. Your second to last game here, Broncos Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Denver too, and it's kind of. But I will say this: the Raiders were competitive last week at Miami. Maybe people see that and say, you know what, that's bodes well for them here against Denver, especially as a home underdog and divisional dog. Is usually a very popular choice, and long term has produced good results. But I just think Denver is is revving up. They're playing better, and look, they've played a really tough schedule lately too. I mean, and then they come back home, they blow out Atlanta, and that Raiders team, you can pick on that secondary. And look, the pass rush, even Max Crosby, hasn't made much of an impact as far as getting at the quarterback recently, but the O-line has been better for Denver. If they can give Nick's time, he will shred this secondary. It's that simple. Meanwhile, Gardner Minshew's having a hard time getting protection. I think this Denver front is playing better, and I just see Denver being able to win this game by a touchdown. They already beat Las Vegas earlier this year, 34-18 in Denver, and that was one of maybe the 5th game of Bo Nix's career. And he still was able to go up and down the field, have probably his best game to that point. And now he's even, I think, developed more, gotten better, more comfortable in this offense since then, whereas the Raiders have fallen backward pretty much since then as well. And you look at Las Vegas at home here, 7-point loss to KC, 19-point loss to Pitt. They get blown out by Carolina. It's not like this is a strong home field, that the Raiders have here. So, yeah, a little puzzling that there's not more love for Denver. But that's okay. I'm cool with it. I'll take them. They're the better team. I think they'll prove it again. -5, -114.
-5, -114 for Bobano Broncos. -5, -114. Final spot on the board for Bobano, Cardinals, Seahawks, Lumen Field, Seattle, Washington. Shout out to Old E gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership, and the Pipe Layer gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. Pipe Layer, Old E, thank you guys so much for the support. It means a ton to us. Our guys, Pipe Layer and Old E. Here, Cardinals, Seahawks, 46 Fahrenheit, cloudy. A chance of showers late. I was watching all week because it was raining all week, but it looks like the weather's going to hold together and be pretty nice here. No wind at all to speak of. For the Cardinals, Jalen Thompson is out, but all of the questionable players, Robinson, Williams, and Thomas, are expected to play. And the Seahawks are a pretty healthy group right now. They're as healthy as they've been pretty much all season. Let's get into the line history here. We're going to use the money line here because it's so tight. Right now, the Seahawks are even money, +100. They plus 101. It just moved 1 minute ago, another cent. They opened up at -118. So it's a pretty legit move to the Cardinals, +105 to -112. Troy on them. I know a bunch of cappers on them. From a total scenario, we have a 47. I'm on the under 47.5, so I'm happy to see this drop. This was opened up at 48. It hadn't been dropping all week, and I was wondering if I should be concerned. It's now starting to drop, which is a bit of a relief. Just 28% of tickets and 24% cash on the under, and now I'm seeing it drop. 47% of the tickets and 58% of cash on the Seahawks spread. On the money lines where you see the Cardinal love, 45% of tickets and 68% of cash. Final game on the board for Bobano. Cardinal Seahawks, take it away.
Very fascinating game because this is definitely feels like a momentum spot for Seattle. They get the big win against San Francisco, kind of feels like it salvages their season. They're still very much now alive in the NFC West. This is the team they're one game behind. They're 5-5 Seattle. Arizona's 6-4. A great opportunity to draw even. I do think Seattle's got the better defense. They've played better lately for sure. But I also think that they've just got the all-around better team at the moment, and that's Arizona. And Arizona is coming off a bye as well, which is beneficial when you're playing a big divisional game like this. So I'm going to take Arizona here at a pick 'em. I just think that, and look, another thing that I factor into this is I've gone against Seattle a lot at home this year. Lumen Field, the eighth man, whatever you want to call it. It's not really, it's done bupkis really for the Seahawks this year. They have not been good on this field. They've not been good at home this year. Just 2-4 straight up at home. They have just one point spread cover at home this year, the Seattle Seahawks, and it was against Tim Boyle and Skylar Thompson and the Miami Dolphins when Miami was out without Tua. That was the 1 point spread they've covered at home this year. The other games, they didn't won but didn't cover against Denver. They lose to the Giants. They lose to San Francisco. They lose to Buffalo. They lose to the Rams. It's just not been a very good home field here for Seattle. And I feel Arizona, a little bit better team off a bye week. Pick 'em price range. Seattle struggling at home. I was conflicted on this game, but I'm going to move on Arizona. I just think they're better right now. Arizona minus 108 money line.
Cards minus 108. Ricky Levine, I went through the weather reports for this game, and I've been following them pretty closely. Right now, there's no rain at all. 13% precipitation. When the game starts, it starts climbing a bit. You get up to 22%.
And was last week a sign of, Seattle's back, man, a huge win, great win against the San Francisco 49ers, or did they just beat the injury-riddled ghosts of the San Francisco 49ers? We'll find out today.
We will, but I do not. There won't be rain to start the game. There might be rain at halftime. The showers start at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah,
Pacific. So just keep that in mind here. Bobano rolling Cards minus 108, Broncos minus 5 minus 114, Texans minus 7 minus 126, the over 40 minus 110, the over 45 minus 112 in Patriots Dolphins. He is on the Bucs minus 6. And he is on Washington minus 10. Washington team total over 27.5, full game over 44. Colts team total over 20.5 and full game over 50. Bobano, thank you for all your hard work. Please support our guy hitting the books, Ice Guys, OG NBA show. And on Thursdays with Betting with the Bag, and support him on X Bobano Bets. Bobano, any last words to the Capper supporting the show?
Just another NFL Sunday. Just good luck to everyone. Enjoy it. Jimmy, cash some tickets. Good luck to you. Good luck to everyone in the chat. And we'll see you next time.
There he is, Bobano. We head to Las Vegas. We go from Hamilton, Ontario to Las Vegas, Nevada. A non-traditional setting here for our next guest. We haven't seen since week 1. Nice to have him back in business with us. Please welcome the freshest capper in the industry, Mr. Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy, what's good, man? How are you?
Jimmy the motherfucking Bag. Good to see you, my man. I'm here to do one thing. That's turn your bookie to a bum. A fucking bum. No knife, no gun. Just that knowledge, son. How we doing, Jim?
We are doing great. Not in the hot tub, but doing great. Can we make your phone sideways so we can get the full shot?
Yeah, but I don't.
It's
not like I really want to be. It's not like I really want to be here right now. I got fucking had a late night. I got people in the house, and didn't want to cancel on my guys, so I said, "Fuck it, I'm coming to the jacuzzi because it's too damn cold out just to be sitting out at the picnic." Is that better for you, Jim?
That's perfect. Thank you. We are rocking and rolling. Dutch Boy Fresh live from Las Vegas, Nevada. We have Detroit Lions, Indianapolis Colts to get Dutch's card started. We already heard from Bobano on the team total over 20.5 for the Colts. He's on the full game over 50. I'm on the Colts plus 7.5. Dutch, how you hammering this one?
Yeah, man. I've been doing really well in these props lately, Jim. So I'm gonna stick to what's been fucking juicing the account. And it's been the Detroit Lions all around, really, with the running game. And I'm gonna go Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, I guess you could pick which one, but this boy has went over. We're going over 65.5 yards, Jim, minus 115. He's had 65 plus yards in 9 straight games, averaging 6 yards a tuck against a pretty fucking suspect run defense, in my opinion. 28th against the run. You got the Detroit Lions 3rd in the league in rushing. I think it's literally going to be pounding the football all fucking day long. Goff has had games, obviously, where he's thrown for tons of yards, most recently. But at the end of the day, I don't think they'll need that. Anthony Richardson's not going to wow you on the other end. I actually probably lean the dog here. But from a betting perspective, from profiting off of this game, Jahmyr Gibbs over 65.5 is easy motherfucking money.
Locked and listen. Jahmyr Gibbs over 65.5 at minus 115. Next up for our guy Dutch, we head to New England, Miami, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida. We've already set this one up, Dutch. Just need to hear how you're getting paid.
Yeah, man. I mean, the setting is cool. This is a cool vibe, but man, it'd be live to be in South Beach right now, getting a little pre-funk. I'm actually gonna go to the Raiders game today with see my Broncos vibe out. But man, there ain't nothing like being in Miami and funking before a game. This game, I'm going with Tyreek Hill, man. I'm going with the guy. I'm going with the cheetah, man. I'm going with the dude who I believe has turned the corner a little bit. It's had somewhat of a down year ever since he was placed in cuffs. This motherfucker's been locked the fuck down. Had a solid game last week, Jim. 8 targets, 7 receptions, 61. We're getting Tua back in the fold as well. Keep that in mind. Now, last meeting with Mr. Huntley. That's right, Huntley throwing him the ball. He had in October 6th earlier this year against the Patriots. He had 6 for 69, and we know they barely fucking even threw the ball at that point. Last meeting versus these boys with Tua chucking them the rock. He had 8 receptions for 112 yards. And this Pats defense secondary is somewhat suspect to me. We saw him allow 6+ catches, 100+ yards to Cooper Kupp and Nakua last week. 20th ranked 20th ranked in the D against passing yards. And when you really look at it, Jim, when we really look at who the Patriots have faced, their quarterbacks have been very, very suspect. Their quarterback opponents have been light as fuck. So I look for Tua to really exploit this New England defense, and McDaniel's starting to put it together a little bit. These boys, I feel like, are going to start rolling in Miami. I'm over 5.5 receptions, plus 115. Nakua and these boys both hit this number last week. Tyreek hit this number last week. I think it's easy, man, and I'm getting plus money. He's getting a 6 catches, bro. Over 5.5 receptions. Tyreek Hill plus 116.
Locked and loaded again. Tyreek Hill over 5.5 receptions at plus 116. The final spot on the board. Now, we do have a 6-point teaser at the end of this, but the final individual spot on the board is our Sunday Nighter. We have a lot of cappers talking about our Sunday Nighter, which brings us a ton of fun for when we get to our live stream this evening. Eagles-Rams live stream right here, 7:20 p.m. Eastern. We have Devonta Smith out with the hamstring injury, and the Rams are getting healthier and healthier. Now, Havenstein is still doubtful at this point, but getting healthier and healthier, and Warren McClendon Jr. will start in place of Havenstein. So let's roll on to the line history here for our Sunday Nighter. This total opened up at 48. It's now 48.5, a half-point move towards the over. On the spread here for this one, we have Philadelphia -3 at plus 103. So there's been, it just moved to plus 104. The Rams have gone from plus 3 minus 111 to now plus 3 minus 115. They had earlier around 3 in the morning being a little higher than this. The juices got up to minus 118, but we're moving back in that direction. Is it possible that there's a 2.5 come game time? We have 59% of the tickets, 55% of cash on the Eagles, 70% of the tickets, 71% cash on the over. Take it away for us, Dutch. Eagles, Rams at SoFi.
Yeah, man, it's going to be one hell of a game. It's nice. I get come right back. It's dope because I'm like 10 minutes from the stadium. 10-minute Uber ride. I'm back, ready to get this Sunday night money. Vibe out with the boys. Plus Sports Radio is the place to be. Believe that. Matthew Stafford over 247 yards, 247 and a half yards. Excuse me, minus 117. I like this looking off a lot. He's through for 279 plus in 4 straight. And I believe we're getting value here, Jim, with this number because of this Eagles defense, who also has had, you look at their quarterback opponents, pretty light, man. Pretty fucking light. I mean, we'll say they did go against Burrow, okay? But Burrow didn't have Higgins. He really only had Chase out there. Look at these quarterbacks: Cooper Rush, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson. Maybe this is why they got this fucking top 5 defense, pass rating defense in the league. I think the numbers are a little, persuading here. So I think personally, I think Matthew's going to eat him up just like he did last week in New England. We hit this late the night in Miami against Miami. It took him a little while with the slow start, but I mean, you got Nakua and Cooper Kupp. I mean, those are the 2 best receivers going. It's the best duo going. I don't give a fuck what you say. And Matthew Stafford's going to find him. I just think he's going to exploit this Philadelphia defense, who is highly rated, but I don't believe this secondary is as good as it's definitely on paper. Also, this offensive line, they've been getting to the quarterback a lot more. They be in Philadelphia, so the O-line definitely needs to step up, protect Matthew. I believe McVay makes the adjustments here and out-coaches that other motherfucker on the other side, who I can't stand, Sirianni. And I think, we'll go into my teaser here in just a moment, but I definitely believe Matthew Stafford gets 250 very easily. He's going to be closer to 300 like the numbers have been the last 4 weeks for him. Against Baker Mayfield, when, earlier in the year, against Baker Mayfield, when he had all his targets, this is pretty much the best offense they've won against the Philadelphia Eagles all year. Baker threw for 347 yards against these motherfuckers. Give me Matthew Stafford. Give me Cooper Kupp and the boys. Over 247. It's good money. I also teased the LA Rams with as well with a 6-point teaser. So this is at plus 160. We talked about the Miami Dolphins. I believe they're trending upwards. I think they're going to smack around the New England Patriots. They did it earlier with Huntley. I don't believe they'll lose at home to Tua. So we got minus 1.5 there. And then we're going to go Monday night, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We got to wait motherfucking 24 hours on a sweater here. But we're going to the window, believe it. And that's going to be the L.A. Chargers. That's right. L.A. It's a Cali thing. It's L.A. Chargers plus 8.5. I believe this is a competitive game against a football team that is tired. Look at the Baltimore Ravens schedule. They got Philadelphia on deck, and then they finally got a bye. These motherfuckers is sitting there praying every morning that they get to that day after Philly. They can't wait to have 2 weeks off. They went through the trenches. I probably will be on the Chargers. We'll talk about that a little bit more on Medicaid Monday, but I definitely am on the teaser plus 8.5. That's plus 160. 3-teamer. Shop around. Maybe you guys can get better money or not, but that's good money.
Chargers plus 8.5, Rams plus 9, Dolphins minus 1.5. 3-team 6-point teaser at plus 160.
Yeah.
Then we have Stafford over 247.5 passing yards. Tyreek Hill over 5.5 receptions at plus money, plus 116, and Gibbs over 65.5 rushing yards at minus 150.
I got one more for you, Jim. I got one more just because I'm feeling kind of good today. It's been a beautiful weekend. Got a big day planned. Got to put the collar shirt on for the meeting here in about 30, and then I'm gonna be putting that motherfucking jersey on and changing up. So it's a little bit of everything today. But we're going Houston Texans money line and Fairbanks over 1.5 field goals. You get this at minus 115. I really like this look, Jim. I hit it Monday night the other week when the Texans were on Monday Night Football. I like this looking off a lot. If you could add this to the card, I'd appreciate it. Minus 115, over 1.5 field goals. Texans money line. Texans have beat these boys 3 straight. Last time Tennessee went to Houston, 23. I believe they won by 20 plus. Held them to 3 to 6 points, I believe. I believe it's almost the same damn thing today. Houston runs these boys off the field. And Fairbanks has had 2 or more field goals in 5 straight. Just ask LJ. He'll tell you. So I'm rolling with that to the motherfucking window. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's run up the likes. Share the video. Drop the comments. Show some motherfucking love. Our guy Jimmy the Bag doing it like no other. I appreciate you, Jim. Y'all stay fresh.
Our guy, Dutch Boy Fresh. Support our guy, the host of Medicate Mondays, and of course on the NBA OG show. We stay in Las Vegas for our next guest, but we don't stay in the hot tub. We have next up the star of the Morning Steam show, 7 days a week, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern on the Sports Money YouTube channel. Rocking with us right now, please welcome, currently ranked 3rd out of 30 cappers here on NFL Pub Hub. Only been with us for 3 shows, but he's 7-3 plus 3.72 units. Our guy, Ramone Scott, to the program.
NC number 4, Ramone Scott. He knows about poker. He's a dealer.
Ramone, what's good, man? How are you?
Yeah, Jimmy, you're a show business guy. You don't follow children, you don't follow animals, and you can add don't follow Dutch when he's got his shot in the jacuzzi there. That's a bad look, Jimmy. I know I dictate my own time frame here, but don't have me after Dutch next time. Hey, I was at the after. Maybe Dutch was hanging out at the Formula One after parties last night here in Vegas.
It's well, it is great to have you as well as our guy Dutch Boy Fresh. Let's go right to work, my friend. Patriots, Dolphins, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida, 74 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour. We've already talked about this game and set it up. Now, you are going to give us more confidence on our action, but you're also going to have to explain or try to help us explain why we should still feel good about this play with the market moving towards the under. Take it away for us, Patriots, Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy, certainly the Patriots, the angle, the talking heads of this story, kind of point towards the improvement of the Patriots with Drake May. It does feel a little bit real with May that the Patriots could see and are seeing some improvement here, it feels like right now. And it's just these type of games, Jimmy, when you have touchdown favorites with a total over, usually 43 and a half points, it is a strong trend to the over no matter how you look at it. But with these two teams, it feels like maybe even a little bit more for me right now. I mean, the Raiders came in and played the Dolphins last week, kind of a similar matchup, right? A touchdown favorite or whatever it was last week, and they won it 34-19. So the Dolphins are definitely getting it together. You heard Dutch talking about it, right? With Hill touchdowns in consecutive games here right now. You got Miami in November. That's also a strong trend for them. So the Patriots, so they're shifting. Definitely, Jimmy. They're no longer that automatic under right now, it feels like, with the improved offense. So, they might be just 50-50 right now to the over-under. And, Miami's owned this series for sure, winning 7 of the last 8 meetings and covering 8 straight against them. But for me, it just seems like Drake May has obviously been a good story here and for an improving offense. And I just think that with some of the trends that point to these 7-point or more favorites in these totals that are over 43, the Dolphins have had this happen, Jimmy, 2 straight weeks of if they are favored by more than 7 points as a home favorite over the last 4 seasons. These teams are going 9-1 right now to the over. Also, AFC home favorites of 7 points or more in consecutive weeks if they win and cover the previous week are 10-1 to the over in those last 11 opportunities. The second meeting between the two teams, Patriots and Dolphins, in the season series are always going to meet twice a year. The second meeting has gone over in 3 straight meetings. So to me, I just think we have the improving offense. I know that's a big storyline with Drake May, and Miami starting to click here right now. I think we are going to get the offensive fireworks here, at least maybe on Miami's part. I mean, I think New England will do their share. I think May's ability to run the ball also helps his fortunes here, being an improved young quarterback like he is. So for me, I just think some of these trends, and like I said, it may be a replay of last week. Now, maybe the Dolphins might have trouble getting this number. They don't seem to like to cover. You guys chatted about it, but again, they did hammer the Raiders last week. If anything, that they are kind of a comparable team right now. It feels like to the Patriots, and they went for 53 last week. So also AFC home favorites of 7 or more with a Thursday game on deck are 21-3 to the over in the last 24 times here right now. So that one, it's a conference wide trend, but just another little bit more fuel here. I'm going to take over with New England and Miami.
Over 45.5 minus 110, a better line than I got available right now for our guy Ramone Scott. 7-3 plus 3.72 units on our show. We move on to the next spot on the board, 1 p.m. Eastern. We've already set this Titans-Texans game up at Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. We have the big move towards the Titans. We saw Bobano get in on the Texans now at -7. Now that was juiced to -126, but this was a 9-point opener. Could have got on the Titans all week at 8.5. Moving quickly towards the Titans. Take it away, Ramone. Titans-Texans.
Yeah, another Texans team here that they're playing okay. They're definitely doing well here and still alive to get something done here this season. They certainly have been a little bit underachieving, but nonetheless, with Anderson returning here, shoring up that defense, as you guys mentioned here right now. Look, the Titans have the numbers defensively. No one can argue. I mean, the numbers are right there. Number 2 defensively in yards allowed per game at 278. Houston's top 5 in yards per play as well. Tennessee, those numbers are backed by the fact that they are number 3 in third down conversion defense this season, and they have a very strong pass defense is what the numbers indicate. That's where they've excelled defensively here. Yeah, Houston's having issues here because the offense maybe hasn't gotten off like they did last year. Yes, we have Collins back. They're still trying to get the full package together. It feels like healthy and clicking. Houston, number 4 defensively, averaging 297 yards per game right now. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these familiar teams have gone under. So I've got to go under here in this one. Look, I agree, Levis, definitely. I was probably overrating Levis when he first broke into the lineup last season, Jimmy, if anything. So I've kind of been a Levis backer, but I think we've learned that he's not going to really develop too much beyond what we're seeing here. I guess with time, he will show even more improvement, but the Titans, really, the offense is really what's cost them a lot this year because the defensive numbers are all there right now. And I'm sure that that's what they'll be focused on in the game with Houston today. Again, I agree for the most part. I laid it with Houston, but probably one of my least favorite plays on the card today that I did go through and play. But I'm going to take the under for sure as my play here on the show.
We'll get you that under because we can give you a 41 at this point, which would be nice. I'll tell you the under 41 minus 110 or the under 40.5 at minus 102.
That sounds great.
Okay, we'll give you the under 41 at minus 110 for Ramone Scott. Final spot on the board for our guy Ramone is Las Vegas, Nevada, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada for the Raiders-Broncos game. I was hoping this was going to be a 6 or 6.5 with my Broncos action. It's not the case. The line's moving towards the Raiders. We've already set this one up, Ramone, so just need to hear how you're getting paid, my man. Take it away.
Yeah, maybe because, it's funny, right, Jimmy? You think of this series and you think of the way Denver's going right now and how good they've looked, and they beat the Raiders 34-18 back on October the 6th. But funny that the Raiders have dominated the series actually before that. I think they'd won maybe 8 in a row in the series and covered the number in all those games. So it's funny that the Raiders have dominated, but we know that things have shifted here. And Raiders made some changes offensively with Turner kind of guiding the offense here right now, but they're still going to be a defensive-oriented team, and you're dealing with one of the best defenses in the league here, no doubt, with Denver, number 3 in defense. defense, allowing 284 yards per game and just 18 touchdowns this season. So I know this is a great role for Peyton. Coming off blowout wins, they usually blow out the next team too. With Peyton here, so I don't mind maybe getting involved with a little bit of Bronco action, but it's going to be an under for me here, Jimmy, despite the 54 points in the first meeting. I think, look, the Raiders, I like Bowers, man, and if anything, that maybe helps them control the game a little bit. Myers is probably underrated. They just don't have the quarterback there. I don't think that Uncle Rico is kind of the man to really get it going and clicking here against this Denver defense, which statistically is top 3, but man, it just feels like they're almost the best in the league, certainly right now. And when you have a great defense, it really helps your quarterback still. But look, for all the improved numbers from Bo Nix, I still think he's learning on the job here a little bit, and maybe his age has helped him develop more quickly than a few of the other quarterbacks that came into the league. But still, he's still trying to grind it out a little bit. I've got the under here with Denver and the Raiders here today, and maybe Dutch will swing by and pick me up and take me to the game.
Yeah.
I'm watching this NFL card today, and I put out. I'm on the record, Jimmy, with my first golf card of the season, and I landed on 125-1 shot that is tied for the lead going in the final round. So it's gonna be a fun day for me. Hopefully, get a 4-digit score here today. I'll manage that a little bit with some hedges if it doesn't totally work out. But I got 2 guys on my first card in the top 6, so we're gonna score here today, no matter what. With some equity and leverage there. But great NFL Sunday, and thank you for having me.
We love having you, Ramone. Under 41.5, minus 105 in Denver, Las Vegas. Under 40 in Tennessee, Houston, and the over 45.5 in New England, Miami. Coming off board sweepage in week 9 when he joined us. 3-0 plus 3.01 units and 7-3 plus 3.72 units here on the show. Thank you for your time. I know you're a very busy man, Ramone. Go get that cash, and please support our guy, Ramone Scott. He is on 7 days a week. Look at this. I love it. On the Sports Money YouTube channel, the Morning Steam Show, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, 7 days a week. Thank you so much for joining us, Ramone, my man.
See you later, Jimmy. Thank you.
There he is, Mr. Ramone Scott in the house. Our next guest is a fixture on the channel, and yet we haven't had him on our NFL Pub Hub yet this year. He had a monster season 2 on NFL Pub Hub, and making his debut. The golf season is over, and it's time to focus solely on NFL and NHL for your next guest. Can't wait to rock with him, coming to us from Belleville, Ontario, Canada. Mr. Goster in the house. Goster, how are you?
Doing good, Jim. Yeah, it's nice to be on. Looking forward to the card. My Broncos, we got a bit of a layup, but let's make some money on them.
Yeah, Todd Clinton, I'm sorry. Sorry about this. It was a horrific watch. Just nothing I could. It cost us a lot of money, and I'm sure it cost my friends money, and I apologize. I thought that it was a really, really great spot, and it sucks. Mr. Goster, Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears, Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois, 46 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 8 miles per hour in Chicago, Illinois. We haven't set this one up. We had, of course, Darnold on the injury report with a foot injury all week, but he's fine. Aaron Jones with the rib issue, he is also fine. This is a healthy group, this Minnesota Vikings team right now. For the Bears, the big story for me was Tevin Jenkins is in. I've thought about backing the Bears all week, and I haven't got there. I am on the under, though. I am on the under in this game. For the Bears, DeAndre Swift on the injury report all week with a groin injury and questionable. He did not practice Wednesday. He was limited for the rest of the week. So that's not good. The last thing I want to have is money on the Bears and have Rashawn Johnson as my only running back here. This total is a 40 right now. It's a 40. It's gone up. It just dropped back to 39.5 2 minutes ago. It actually, 8 minutes ago was a flat, like a legit 39.5. Now it's juiced to the over, so maybe it comes back to 40. This has been bouncing all over the place from 39 to 40 right now. That is the total. I hope that keeps going down. On the spread here, we have the Bears plus 3 now. 3.5s are gone. 3.5s are gone. They left at 10:41 this morning. The 3.5s are gone. Wow. Cash-wise here for this one, we have the 53% of the tickets, 54% of cash on the Vikings, 23% of tickets, 46% cash on the under. Take it away for us, Gokster. Vikings, Bears.
Yeah, I didn't pick an easy game here. It should be a good one, though, guys. Divisional matchup. The line, like you say, has moved towards Chicago. Where I'm going to go in this game, though, is we're looking at Hawkinson, Jimmy. Hawkinson with their tight end out here. I believe it's Oliver, and then even Muse, he's questionable. Hawkinson, he's only had 3 games. Iowa player, too. It's going to be cold weather. This is perfect, I think, for Hawkinson. Just quickly here, let me bring up his stats. Last few games here, receiving, he had only 13 last game, but before that, 72 against Jacksonville, 27, 8 catches, 2 against Jacksonville. And with the loss of Oliver, I believe it is, he was there. They were looking at him a lot throughout the year, but now with Hawkinson back and healthy, I expect him, Jimmy, to get the ball quite a bit. If you look at Chicago, guys, Ertz had 77 yards, 7 catches. Arizona, McBride, and Higgins both had 34. And then Hopper, again, with New England, had 64 with 3 catches. So I think the tight ends are going to be vulnerable for the Bears defense here. So I'm going to be first play is going to be Hawkinson over 39.5 minus 115. And then with all the weapons, Jimmy, I was just looking too. Jones and Jefferson both haven't scored a tutty in over 4 games here. Don't want to say it's going to happen, but man, it's tough to keep those players out of the end zone. So I think one of them are going to score. And with Hawkinson having a day, you got their other receivers slipped my mind, the little guy, slot guy. They're deep here, and I think it'll be a little too much for the Bears. But I do think the Bears will be able to put something together here against the Vikings. So I am going to take Darnold, guys, over 225 passing yards. A little risky, you could say, but I think with all the weapons, he's healthy. You got Jones to it in the backfield where he can drop some passes off to him as well. So I'm gonna trust it, guys. Darnold over 225 minus 115, and like I said, Hawkinson, he should get the ball quite a bit. I wouldn't even talk anyone off like a receptions too, Jimmy, on Hawkinson at plus money. I think 4.5 it would be.
Gokster locking in Hawkinson over 39.5 receiving yards, Darnold over 225 passing yards in Vikings Bears. Next up for us, we have Buccaneers Giants, MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We've already set this one up. I'm on the Buccaneers. I'm on the Giants team total under. I almost tripled up on the full game under. I decided not to, although I do like it. Take it away for us, Gokster. Buccaneers Giants.
This is a tough one too. Both teams are off the bye week, Jim. The injury still, though, I was just looking here, like Dean Hill, McCollum, I believe it is, 3 cornerbacks questionable. I don't know if you got any update on those guys, but without having the cornerbacks, I know we're talking about DeVito in today, guys, and then Neighbors questionable. I believe he still is going to go. Thibodeau's questionable as well. Some key pieces there for the Giants, but in this game, I think with the weather too, we're looking at a lot of wind. I think this is going to be the windiest game of the slate, looking at up to 30 mile per hour gusts. So I think there'll be a lot of running in this game. I lean to the under, but what I did is I went both teams to score a rushing touchdown, Jimmy, at plus 120. I think, what's his name here? Tracy Jr. there. He had that tough fumble their last game. I expect him to play. I expect him to get the ball quite a bit. And also 28th in opponent red zone scoring. That's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So if you get the ball there, I think don't make DeVito throw the ball by any means. I think Tracy should get in the end zone. And then the other side, you got both Bucky Irving and Rashid White. So I think both of them are going to get the ball quite a bit. Going to try and avoid these long passes in this wind, probably avoid some field goals, go for it a lot of 4th and 1s, 4th and 2s. So see a lower scoring game, but both teams to score a rushing touchdown at plus 120. I think that's the play on this game.
And I am kind of, did I need to triple up? I kind of wish I was on some of the leans. I kind of wish I moved on, but it is what it is. Both teams score a rushing touchdown at plus 120. Next spot on the board, the final spot on the board, your Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. Gokster, finally feels good being a Bronco fan once again. Team moving in the right direction. Do they follow up the destruction of last week with another beatdown of Vegas? It was impressive against Atlanta last week. I was on them, and I'm on them again. And am I going back to the well one too many times? Take it away, Gokster. Broncos, Raiders.
Well, how are they going to compete here, Jim? I think on defense with their cornerback situation here, Bennett, Hobbs are both out. Questionable. Jones, They're really thin on cornerbacks. And then looking at Sutton, guys, he's had a day. He's had a couple of days, actually. His last 3 or 4 games, Jim, he's had like over 70, 80 yards. I think a couple of touchdowns in between. So between him and then Veely, guys, you don't know about this Veely, 7th-round pick, Devon Veely out of Utah. He's up-and-coming stud for the Broncos. He's had the last 2 games, 9 targets, 8 catches for pretty much, what do we have here, 105 yards, 1 touchdown in between. With the weak cornerbacks here, they're going to be pretty thin. They're obviously going to try and shut down Sutton, but on the other side, Jimmy Veely, Bo Nix obviously likes to target this guy. And like I said, 8 of 9 in his last 2 games. He's gonna definitely get over 30.5. Let's start with that one, guys. Over 30.5 on Veely, -113. I got that at. So that's one I really like. Second wide receiver for the Broncos. You got Mims too, Junior, but I'm telling you, it'll be a problem. They'll be so focused on Sutton. I see him being not wide open, but be able to take advantage of I think it's like 6th, 7th round. Well, he is as well, but cornerbacks on the other side for the Raiders. So look at Veely, guys. Also over receptions, Jimmy, 3.5 +125, man. I guess he's had 4 of the last few games. We're getting a plus number on it, and thin cornerback. So take that one as well, guys. Also Denver halftime, full-time. They already beat him. What was it, Jim? I think Ramone said 34-18, something like that. And this team, now they're going with Garner Minshew. White's also doubtful, running back. Jones questionable. This team's beat up. Broncos need this win if they want to stay in the playoff mix there. A big game against the Colts coming up here in a couple weeks. So, yeah, look at the Broncos here where we're healthy too, Jim. Reynolds is out. Receiver, D-end. Allen's questionable. Sanders is out on linebacker, but our line's getting better too. I read a stat too, guys. Jared Bowles, he's been a sore for this Broncos team. He's taken so many penalties over the years, Jim. He's second in quarterback pressures as like a left tackle in the NFL right now. So our line's getting much better. 77 Martinez as well. Should be a task for the Raiders to get this one done. And I would even look at like a Raiders team total under. I think Ramone had the under as well. I like that. Broncos to score over 2.5 touchdowns too, Jimmy. They scored 5 in the last game. That's going to be my last play on the card here. It's going to be Denver Broncos over 2.5 touchdowns at -105. I really see this one hitting. Like I said, beating up on a team that's really thin in the secondary, and Denver's just playing some of the best football they have in like the last 3-4 years. So yeah, let's go Broncos.
What was the line on Denver double result?
So that was -110.
-110 for Denver double result. That's a good look. I could have added to my position on both the Broncos and the Buccaneers with those double results. I probably should have done that. You have Devon Veely over 3.5 receptions. What was the yards? Over 39.5?
Over 30.5.
30.5. What was the juice?
-113.
-113. So doubling up on the Devon Veely props. Denver double result and Broncos over 2.5 touchdowns at -105. Both teams to score rushing touchdown, and Buccaneers Giants at +120. And he's got TJ Hawkinson over 39.5 receiving yards and Sam Darnold over 225 passing yards. You can catch our guy, Mr. Goster, every Tuesday on the Peter Loshak Show in NHL and every Wednesday on Betting with Bouquet. Excellent work, Goster. Please support our guy on X at Goster99. I'm going to pop it in the handle. Please support our friend, Mr. Goster. Goster, any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
Man, thanks for having me on, Jimmy. Sorry it's been so long, brother. We'll do this again soon. Hopefully we can cash some tickets here today and come back looking good next week. So good luck with your action too, Jimmy, and we'll see you again, brother.
There he is, Mr. Goster. North Ender on the Bears +3.5. There's a couple spots I feel like kind of got away from me here, unfortunately. But I'm not going to take him at 3 when I could have had him at 3.5, and I almost pressed the button last night. Let's move on to our next guest, currently ranked 2nd out of 30 cappers on NFL PubHub, 30-25 plus 5.05 units, coming to us from Houston, Texas, a star of Harwood in NBA as well as NFL, and showing out here, star of the Raw Words podcast as well. Please welcome our friend LJ from H-Town.
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H, I stack green like Boston. Shout out to Nasty Nate from down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Dabby Cab. Swing by Dallas with them Cowboy fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Profit. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Connor Mack.
LJ, what's good, my man? How are you?
What's going on, Jimmy? Sunday NFL football, sir. You know what time it is. You see me in the back, NRG Stadium. Let's get it, Jimmy. Let's make this money.
We start right in Houston, right where LJ does it best. Texans at home to the Titans. We've already set this game up. Take it away.
Yes, sir, Jimmy. You know where we're going. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Texans first half, -4.5. 10-1 against the spread in the first half. Number 1 in the NFL, averaging 18 points in the first half at home. Mind you, Titans, they're 12-8 against the spread in the first half, their last 20. But I think the Texans are better competition for them today. It's a divisional game, so we already know these two teams know each other. But for us the side, Jimmy, I'm going to fall back on the side. Simply because the Texans are only 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games versus the division, and TJ's only 3-5-1 against the spread as a home favorite. So I'm just going to trust the Texans come out early, get a touch, maybe a 10-point lead early in the first half, and just let the second half just ride out. Both of these teams are at the bottom of the league in second half scoring. The Titans are averaging 6. Texans are averaging 4. Which brings me to the total. I'm with Ramone. Under 40.5 is what I'm going to take, simply because our defense is solid. It's the cornerstone of our team. Will Anderson is back. I love that. So that pass rush will be attacking Will Levis today. And the defense is ranked 4th, like Ramone said. I love the pass defense. And like I said, we've generated turnovers, 7 turnovers in the last 2 home games. So Will Levis may throw an interception. He could get a strip fumble. Whatever the case may be, I think the Texans completely control this game, but I'm going to trust them early in the first half, -4.5. Also, simply because both of these teams are heavily penalized. They're very undisciplined. The Titans are averaging 10 penalties in their last 3 games, which is worse than the NFL. The Texans are averaging 8 penalties, which is ranked 27. That's one of the reasons why I'm taking the under, because I think points will probably be scored early and it died down in the second half. 18 out of the last 25 games have gone to the under for the Houston Texans. Now, getting to my props, Jimmy, we have Joe Mixon. Anytime touch. Actually, you know what we're going to do, Jimmy? Let's do 2 touchdowns for Joe Mixon, plus 200. He had 3 last week versus the Cowboys. Granted, the Cowboys suck. We know that. But I don't think the Titans defense is too much shabby on the rushing side of the game. So I believe Mixon gets into the end zone twice today. And we're going to do Mixon 2+ touchdowns, plus the Texans to win, plus 244, just because I believe the Texans win. And Mixon is one of the offensive players that we have to score points. So I'm going to parlay those 2. And the last one, Jimmy, Mixon touchdown, plus Fairburn over 1.5 field goals, plus 131, simply because Mixon, 6 games in a row, he scored a touchdown. Fairburn, 7 games in a row, he's hit this over 1.5 field goals. Not to mention, the Titans have allowed 8 rushing touchdowns in their last 5 games, allowed over 1.5 field goals their last 9 games versus the division. So we're locked in, Jimmy. Those are all my plays. Texas first half, under 40, Mixon touchdown, Fairburn over 1.5 field goals.
And we can get you that under 41 at -108.
Okay.
Texans first half -4.5, -109. Mixon 2 touchdowns plus 200. Mixon 2 touchdowns and the Texans to win at plus 244. Mixon anytime touchdown, Fairbairn over 1.5 field goals at plus 121. You can tell LJ taking a run at Marley on top of the leaderboard. By the way, Marley's football team that he coaches, the Cobras, have their Super Bowl today. So we're all cheering for the boys come home with the chip And shout out to Marley and everything Marley's doing in the community. Your co-host in the Raw Words podcast. I tweeted it out to everybody. Support the Raw Words podcast for our guy LJ from htown. Finally, we move on to our next game. Kansas City Chiefs 9-1, 4-1 on the road. The Carolina Panthers 3-7, 2-3 at home. Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. We haven't talked about this spot yet. 61 Fahrenheit, sunny, 5 miles per hour. Beautiful weather. We heard from Bo Jackson in the chat. Bo was talking about how Kelsey needs one more touchdown for the Chiefs record. He thinks that will cash here today. Kelsey coming off an 8-yard receiving week last week. Now, this Panthers team has a lengthy injury report. Eddie Pinheiro is in. No worries about the most accurate kicker of all time. He's in. Thielen is in. No concerns there. Now, Miles Sanders is the only player that's out, really, that we know for sure is out. He's been placed on IR. Clowney, we need and we expect him to be in. You saw clips of him practicing and dancing on the field, so I imagine he's in. I need DJ Wanham so badly. He back last week and before the bye. My whole thing with this game was that, is this really the Chiefs' bounce back spot? Now, I know that you had a mortgage bet on the Lions first half last week, and you told us that you were going to be on the Chiefs first half this week. And I just, against the worst team in the league, because I know this is a Carolina Panthers Super Bowl. This is the most important game of the Panthers all year. Bryce Young smiling on his way to work for the first time in his career. So I moved on the Panthers plus 11. I pitched it to Troy. Troy bet it. So then I'm not going to let my friend, go down on my angle that I liked. So I had to bet it too as soon as he bet it. And I'm okay with that. Right now, that plus 11 is minus 114. It opened up at minus 106. So 8 cents of movement towards Carolina. I'm on the Colts plus 7.5, and I'm on the Panthers plus 11, and it's not comfortable. It's not. It's not a fun thing to do betting these teams, or at least fading the Lions and the Chiefs. But we have cashed fading the Chiefs 4 weeks in a row. Is this going to be 5? Are we going to the well one too many times? This total opened up at 42. It's now at 43. LJ, take it away. Oh, wait, let's talk about the cash flow quickly. Sorry, because we haven't talked about this game yet. From a cash flow perspective, we have 77% of the tickets, 71% of the cash on the Chiefs. Frankly, I'm happy that 23% of the tickets and 29% of the cash is on the Panthers with me. I thought it'd be less than that, and I was a little worried. So at least some people are going down this street with me. 17% of the tickets, 24% cash on the under. Take it away, LJ. We have Chiefs, Panthers.
Yes, sir. Everybody knows, if they've been following me all season, they know how we would attack these Carolina Panthers. We attack them early, especially in the second quarter. The Panthers have been outscored in the second quarter, 110-20, 7 out of their 10 games played. Like I always mention, the AFC West versus the NFC North is 9-1 straight up on the season so far. And when you go to the second quarter versus the AFC, Carolina, 21-0 Broncos beat them in the second quarter. Chargers, 14-0 beat them. Now, the Raiders, they were up 14-0 with the Raiders, but that was when Andy Dalton came into the lineup the first game. Carolina had a rejuvenance of, energy. So I take that game out. But other than that, they've been outscored in the second quarter tremendously. So Kansas City coming off a loss. They're 13-7 against the spread in the second quarter in the last 20 games, averaging 11.5 points on the road. So we are going first half, minus 6.5, Jimmy. Give me the best number you can get me. And I'm taking the over in the first half, 21.5, just because Carolina is 9-1 to the first half over in their 10 games played. And that's mainly because the other team is scoring on them. So I'm going to stick to that trend as well. Mahomes, 19-4 in the month of November for his career. 6-2-1 against the spread off a loss since 2022. But Carolina's 9-81 against the spread as a home dog since 2022. So they could cover that full game, Jimmy. So that's not why I'm not going to take it. I'm going to leave that alone. But I am on Travis Kelce, ladies and gentlemen. I took the touchdown plus 100, and I took the touchdown plus to win at plus, what I got it. It was plus 123, I believe. Let me fact check that. But whoever said it in chat is right. Kelce needs one more touchdown to break that franchise record, and I believe he is going to get it. So I took the touchdown by itself. and I parlayed it with the win, and I'm going to get that number for you right now.
Sweet.
Plus 116. Plus 116 is the number for the parlay with the win. Kelsey touchdown.
Plus 116, and Kelsey anytime touchdown plus 100. First half over 21.5 at minus 110, and the Chiefs first half minus 6.5 at minus 115. Minus 115 is the cheapest we can find. That first half minus 6.5 at minus 115. All right, we roll into the next spot that we've kind of set up already. Now we have fully set it up already earlier in the show, but just the fact that I am on the Colts here plus 7.5, and I took a lot of heat on our YouTube video that was cut out. A lot of heat. Some Lions fans are tough and angry when you say anything negative about their very good football team. And I didn't really say anything negative other than I'm fading them. Take it away. I said some negative things about their passing game and maybe their injuries. Take it away, LJ. Lions, Colts.
Yes, sir. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Detroit, first half. Minus 4.5. They're the second best team behind the Texans in the first half for the league. So why jump off the train now, ladies and gentlemen? 9-2 against the spread in their last 11 on the road. 16-5 against the spread in the first half in their last 21 games. Number one in the second quarter scoring, averaging 15.5 points on the road. 8-2 in their last 10 overall in the first half. Not to mention another trend. 13-2 straight up for the NFC North versus the AFC South. And I give you one more. The NFC on the road versus the AFC at home is 13-8-3 against the spread. But hey, I'm not worried about the full game. I never usually take full games because I like to get my money early and I like to get out. So we're going to do it again today. Mind you, the over is a sharp look. I'm not making it official, but it's a heavy lean because since week 9 of last year, Detroit's schedule, Jimmy, 17 of their 19 games have been played indoors, and 13 of those 19 games have gone 50-plus points to the over. Now, I'm not taking it officially, but it's a heavy lean to the over. But official first half, minus the 4.5. And the prop, we're going back to the well. Amon St. Brown, anytime touchdown, plus Detroit to win. I got it at minus 106 because the St. Brown touchdown has hit 8 straight games, and he's also 12-2 to the touchdown his last 14 games on the road. So those are my plays for this Detroit game, Jimmy.
You are locked in. Lions first half. It keeps moving towards the Colts, so you get a -4, minus 107. St. Brown anytime touchdown, and the Lions together at minus 106. Todd, the NFL spreadsheet play of the day earlier this week was the Niners +2. I'm sure that's changed now with Purdy being out, and we're going to talk about that game with Rod Zaki at the end of the show. So I'm not sure what it is now, Todd. He was at the Auburn game last night, so he was partying at the Auburn game like he's I don't know what it is right now. Let's move on to the next spot on the board here for our guy LJ, and it is Broncos Raiders. We moved to Broncos Raiders. I don't know exactly why Broncos Raiders ahead of Patriots Dolphins, but I do here. So let's go. We'll go into the Dolphins game after. Broncos. So we're a little out of chronological order. My apologies. We've already set this Broncos Raiders game up. I'm very concerned with the line moving towards the Raiders as I'm on the Broncos -5.5. I need Zach Allen out there. I don't know if anyone has the final Zach Allen update. I imagine he's in. Take it away for us here, and we know the Raiders are all beat up. We've already gone over that. Take it away, LJ. Broncos Raiders.
Yes, sir. Divisional game here, and we are going to stick to the over first half, Jimmy. I got it at 20.5. You can find me the best number you can get me, simply because Denver is over in the first half on the road. Raiders first half at home, 8-2 to the last 10 to the over. Denver 9-2 to the over in the first half on the season. Both these teams put up points early. It's probably going to be more Denver supposed to the Raiders, but 5 out of the 6 road games for Denver has averaged 25 points total in the first half. The Raiders, 4 home games so far, have averaged 23.5 points in the first half. So I'm going to stick to the first half over and just relax on the second half. I do think Bo Nix will have a good game. You know, he should hit his touchdowns. The Raiders have allowed 10 touchdown passes last 3 games. And Will Lutz should hit his field goals because the Raiders give up a lot of field goals. But all that said, the Broncos still fighting for a playoff spot, 8-3 against the spread on the season. 4-1 in their last 5. So I don't mind the -5.5 full game, but I'm going to stick to what's been hitting consistently, and that's the first half over for both of these teams. Over 20.5 first half.
You are locked and loaded. We also have our guy Spenny Penny Bombs dropping his action in the chat. Spenny, thank you so much. We have copied and pasted that. We'll go over all of that. Final spot on the board for LJ before we have the big Ragu making his triumphant return to the show. I haven't seen Ragu since week 8. We have LJ breaking down Patriots Dolphins. We've already set this one up. As you guys know, I'm on the over, and so is Ramone. Let's hear how LJ's getting paid with Patriots Dolphins. Take it away.
Yes, sir, Jimmy. I'm taking the spread. I'm on Miami, -7.5, just because the history Tua has with versus this team. 8-0 against the spread versus Patriots the last 8 games. He's 12-4 against the spread versus the division since 2022. 12-4 against the spread in the last 16 games as a 7-point favorite or more. And Tua is 6-0 against the spread versus the Patriots. Like I said, 13-3 straight up in the month of November for his career. Miami's been playing good. They are fighting for a playoff wild card spot as well. And I believe the history that they have versus New England, they can cover this spread just because New England going on the road in a division game, they're not really successful. 5-12 straight up as a road dog since 2022. And just like I mentioned, they give up a lot of points. I'm going to take Tua over 1.5 touchdown passes plus Miami to win and -110 just because the Patriots giving up 12 touchdown passes, 5 out of their last 6 games. So I believe Tua hits Tyreek today, hit a couple more players, and get that 2+ touchdowns. And I think Miami will cover this spread at home in the division and try to keep fighting for that wild card spot.
I love it. By the way, Starchild saying that he was going to take the under. Now he's going to stay off. Starchild, I'd wait on that. Maybe because it certainly feels like it's the sharp side right now. And we have Big Ragu talking about the game next. So why don't you just stay with your plan here? Big Ragu's been on the opposite of some totals that I've been on where the sharps are going with him and he's bang on. So why don't we just stick with your plan right now, and we'll talk about it a little more. Now, for you, LJ, do you want the Dolphins -7 at -116 or now, actually, sorry, just moved to -117 or -7.5, -101?
You can do the 7.
-7 at -117 for our guy, LJ from H-Town. What a season he has delivered on our show. Currently ranked 2nd out of 30 cappers. And the only one ahead of him is his co-host in the Raw Words podcast, which is out right now. And please subscribe to our guy LJ's channel. He'll touch on it here in a second because I want everybody to know about it. 30-25 plus 5.05 units LJ on the season. He's on the Texans first half -4.5 and the under 41. Mixon 2 touchdowns at +200. Mixon 2 touchdowns and Texans win at +244. Mixon anytime touchdown Fairbairn over 1.5 field goals at +121. Chiefs first half -6.5 -115. First half over 21.5 -110. Kelsey anytime touchdown even money. Kelsey anytime touchdown and Chiefs to win at +116. Lions first half -4 at -107. St. Brown anytime touchdown. Lions to win at -106. The first half over 20.5 in Broncos Raiders, and Dolphins -7 -117. 2 over 1.5 touchdowns and Dolphins to win at -110. LJ, my man, excellent work. Please tell everybody about the Raw Words podcast and where they can find it.
Yes, sir. They could go on YouTube right now, type in LJ from Houston, or you could type in Raw Words Podcast. Both of them work. We did a show this morning, me and Marley. We did a dual show with Brothers and Bets, and I put out my prop show right after. So go over there right now before kickoff. See if y'all can get some plays that y'all like. I put 5 good props out, and we put our sides out today, all the plays that we like. So, yeah, me and Marley crushed it this morning. And, of course, we're rooting him on to win his Super Bowl with his little guys playing football. So, hey, man, I'm coming for that #1 spot, Jimmy. I already told Marley I like the way he took off today. That gives me breathing room to catch him. And like I always say, guys, let's continue to enjoy football. I'm going to watch my Texans kick some ass. And like I always say, let's keep cashing.
There he is. LJ from H-Town. We go from Houston, Texas to Ocala, Florida for our next guest. Ocala, Florida, by way of New York City. He was our inaugural champion in season 1 of NFL Pub Hub. Please welcome to the show our guy, the Big Ragu, to the program.
What's going on, guys? How we doing, fellas? Good to be back. Good to be with you.
You are a sight for sore eyes, Ragu.
I am.
Miss you, man. Nice to
Let
have
me
you back.
adjust my glasses. There you are. Oh, I love you, man. It's been too long. How you doing, brother? How's the chat doing, by the way?
Oh, we're doing better rocking with you, Ragu, my man. Let's get right to work. Detroit Lions, Indianapolis Colts, Lucas Oil Stadium. I took a ton of heat, as I said, for being on the Colts here. What's your thought plan?
I'm taking the heat with you. How you like that? I'm taking the heat with you, my man. I love it. I love this play today. Listen, the Colts, 8-3 with the number, right? Solid. We all know what the Lions did. They derailed the Jags, a hapless Jag team. But these Colts playing at home, their numbers are actually, if you break down the numbers offensively, their numbers are better than the Lions' numbers. So it's hard to believe as spectacular as the Lions have been this season, right? So, and Steichen, he's going to have to. What do we do here with the Colts? Do we want to get in a track meet with these Lions? I mean, the number's pretty high, 50 and a half. Do we see a backdoor cover late in a track meet? Or do we see a slow down game by the Colts to try to keep within one score? If you look at what the Colts have done all season long, they've been in one-score games the whole season with the exception. I think you got to go back a few games where I don't have the game right in front of me. There's only one game where they lost by double digits at this season. So I think the Colts will play a close game with this team here, and I think they're viable. I'm going to put the Lions on upset alert here, guys. I'm going to run with the Colts. I'm going to take the points, and I'm going to take the Colts on the money line here.
Ooh. Man, I like it. The +7 right now is -105, +7.5 -122. We'll start there.
I want the hook. I want a hook. I mean, I'm living on the edge with the money line, but I'll take the money line too. I think they're live. I mean, they spoke by the Jets. I get that part, but and I know this has nothing to do with it if you go by past history, whatever. But I know the Colts have beat the Lions the last 3 out of 4 too. So I mean, but that's your mom and dad's teams playing back then. That don't mean nothing today. But I think they're still good. I think I can still see the Colts winning this game like 28-27, still going over. I can see it 24-21. But even if they lose the game, I don't see them losing by more than a touchdown here.
Big Ragu on the Colts +7.5 -122. The money line +281. I'll see if I can find a better line than the +281, but that's what we'll go with right now. Then we head to MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Giants are a mess, and the expectation that Tommy Cutlets will clean it all up is pretty ludicrous. I took their team total under 19.5, which has moved heavily in my direction. I got -133, is -165 when we started the show, and I'm on the Bucs here -5.5. Take it away, Ragu. Buccaneers, Giants.
Yeah, I took the Giants in the contest in the pub contest. I kind of figured that the Giants were going to take a little bit of money here, and that was just nothing against the Bucs, because the Bucs are probably the best 4-6 team in the league. I mean, they could very easily be 7-3 right now. But they played a murderer's row schedule. When they played, they lost to Kansas City. They lost. Baltimore was probably the cleanest win on the L column for them. When they played Baltimore, but they lost to San Fran. They could have won that. KC, they could have won. Atlanta could have won. Baltimore, they probably deserved to lose that game. So, in regards to what they do, Baker's. I have no qualms with Baker. They've done a lot of things right, but they've done some things wrong. And I think the defense up the middle is what's been killing this team against the run here. The Giants are a little bit better against the pass, but what Goster was saying, with this high winds today, I don't think we're going to see a lot of big plays downfield. So that bodes well for the Bucs as far as that goes. And I kind of changed my play here. I was initially going to probably try to ride with the G-men, but I'm probably gonna hit the under here. I think the under is very live in play here. I think we'll see a lot of runs. We won't see much downfield passing, but and that plays into the Bucs game too. But I don't know. I'm gonna shift plays here. I'm gonna stick with the under here. I was gonna lean with the Giants a little bit, but I've already got that in the contest. But I think the more solid play here is the under in this spot here, and it bodes well with the conditions up there. And like I say, I don't see Cutlets airing it out. I see a lot of Tracy. I see a lot of underneath plays. I see the Bucs pounding the ball, pounding the rock against the Giants' run defense, which is not stellar. And they're not going to need to pass the ball much. I can see the Bucs escaping with a win at a Giant Stadium here or Met Stadium here, a low-scoring game, probably like 2017 or 17-10, somewhere in that range. But put me on the under here.
Under 40.5 available, -108. Under 40 available. Oh, there is under 40.5. There's one under 40.5 with regular VIG. Under 40.5 -110.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Under 40.5 at -110. We roll on with the big Ragu, and we talk Patriots Dolphins. So I slowed Star Child down from his plan because we wanted to hear your plan here. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida. A lot of us are on the over. Troy, myself, Ramone, Bobano. Unfortunately, the market isn't agreeing with us, and so I'm very interested to hear how you are handling this one. Take it away. And the market was agreeing with us all week until today. Take it away, Patriots Dolphins.
I think here with the Dolphins, this has always been a quirky series where going back to the Brady days where the Dolphins have had New England's number for a lot of different reasons. Belichick's coaching style back in the days, kind of carry over a little bit here. But, I mean, the Patriots, they're a little bit of a mess. I think the Dolphins have kind of turned the corner on their season. They're looking to kind of get back on track and do things the way they like to do it at Hard Rock. And that number looks like an overlay. It's a tricky number. 7.5. I took 7.5 the other game. I'm going to lay the 7.5 here with the fish. I think I'm not worried about the total so much. It kind of bodes well. If you look at the number, you read into the numbers, the 7.5 and the 46.5. It tells you the Dolphins are going to score some points here. They probably win this game going away double digits. I think New England probably gets like 17 points in this, and it's all Dolphins here. So I think it's all downhill action. Dolphins, and I would lean over actually in this spot here too. So I can see the Dolphins putting like high 20s, low 30s up here, and New England getting like middle double digits, like 17, 15. So I think the Dolphins win this game going away.
And they went over 30 for the first time all year last week. So starting to feel good, starting to roll with Tonga Bailoa.
I think the Dolphins turn the corner. I think they're starting to click here. So it's momentum play with the Dolphins.
Do you want the -7 at -117 or 7.5 -101?
I'll take the 7, but I think they win going away.
-7 at -117 for the big Ragu. And then we roll into our Sunday nighter here. Bryce Huff underwent wrist surgery, edge rusher for the Eagles, and Devonta Smith out. We've already set this game up and talked about the injuries. Injuries looking much better for these Rams. Havenstein doubtful. So, probably see McClendon on the line. But other than that, they're getting healthier and healthier as we speak. We've already set this one up. So how are you getting paid on our Sunday nighter Ragu Eagles Rams?
We know we like to live with the unders on these prime times, but I think even the better play is the side with the Eagles right now. I mean, there's not probably a hotter team in the league outside of the Lions. What they've done offensively. I mean, this team, I think they've got like the number one rushing offense right now with Barkley. And the Rams, to their credit, they lost their first 4 out of 5 games. Now they turn around and they won their last 4 out of 5. So they've kind of turned their season around. And offensively, they're pretty good. And I know that Stafford's had success against the Eagles in his career, but then again, the Eagles have had their success against the Rams. So, I mean, so try to fit that puzzle back together. But I just think the makeup of the team with the Eagles and what they're doing offensively and defensively, they're probably one of the better teams in the league right now. So I think the Rams are going to have a little bit of a problem. The numbers kind of throws me off. The market's throwing me off on this one a little bit, so I'm a little bit nervous. This is probably the most nervous game that I have on the board here. It's a Sunday nighter. We've seen some crazy shit happen on Sunday nights. If I can get a 2.5, I would like it better. But if I push with the 3, I push with the 3. But yeah, I think the Eagles here are the spot. It's a trickier spot, no doubt. But I don't think the Rams have a big home field advantage too, playing at SoFi. So that's not a field that where the crowd's going to take them out of the game. The competition. But Philly, like I say, going 6 in a row. Rams last 4 out of 5 W's, but I think Philly's the better team, both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively. So, and a field goal, I got to take the Eagles.
This line has been moving towards the Rams, so you have an interesting option here. But Troy's with you, and that's how I plan on live betting the game. I plan on live betting the Eagles if they get down. That's the angle that I'm going into it with. I might even come in with some pre-flop action on them as well. So I'm still kind of working it out. But the -3s plus 106, the -2.5s minus 117. What would you prefer?
Yeah, give me. I'll stay with the 3. I think they win it. I think they win it. I want to get some value in my number. On the average bet, and I don't want to start laying these higher 117s and 120s. I will in spots, but 3s. I'll sit on the 3 here at that number.
Eagles -3 at plus 106 for Doc. He's on Dolphins -7 at minus 117. The under 40.5 in Tampa Bay, New York Giants. Colts plus 7.5 and Colts on the money line. Our inaugural season 1 champion here, the Big Ragu. Please support him on X at Big Ragu 62 and support him with everything that he does over on the Who Bangin' Sports channel with our great friend DJ Big Boss. I'm gonna pop it in right here. Big Ragu 62, his X handle. Please support our guy Ragu. Doc, any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
Let's have a day, boys. Let's get some momentum here. Let me get a little momentum, get back in the thick of things, and we'll see you real soon.
I look forward to it. There he is, the Big Ragu. And to headline our show this morning, we have a capper making his NFL Pub Hub debut, and we should have already had this happen. I'm so excited to have him rocking with us. The star of Pick Dogs, the star of, his angles and trends in our chat on Betting with the Bag are must-know information. A hell of a capper and a great friend. I've capped with him now for going on 8 years. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Rod Zaki, to the show. Rod, it's been too long. We've needed you on this show, and here you are headlining it. How are you, my man?
Hey, it's one of those days I'm digging out from a blizzard. We had a good 3 feet of snow over the last day. It started Saturday morning, and it went all last night, right overnight. So that's what I've been doing, digging out from a big snow pile. But still, we still made it here. Still NFL football, and still let's get some winners here. It has been too long.
It is. It's great.
I haven't seen it since the horse racing show, so let's get it. Let's get some winners here.
And you were a monster, as always, on those thoroughbred shows. Rod, let's get right to work. You start Cowboys Commanders. We've already set this game up at Landover, Maryland. Take it away.
Yeah, and you look at this one. I've given you some numbers on earlier in the week on that show on Dallas. It's just one of those big dogs, right? You look at the -10.5 with the Commanders. I went back and forth on this game all week, and for me, I found a spot instead. I'm going to go with a prop play. We're looking at Terry McLaurin. He's been a solid receiver for this Commanders team all season long. He's over his last 4 seasons with the Commanders. He's averaging 77 to 80 catches on a season. This year, he's got 48 catches, and he gets targeted a good 68 times a game. So he's catching 50 out of 60. That's all we need him to do here. He averages 15.4 yards per catch on those plays. So we need him to catch 5 for us today. I'm going to take his over receiving yards, over 62.5. It wasn't 58.5. It's come up a little bit. So Terry McLaurin over 62.5 receiving yards. I think he has himself a good game today for the Commanders, because we know that pass defense of the Cowboys is a sieve, and going to be able to throw the ball. So give me Terry McLaurin over 62.5. Receiving yards today.
Scary Terry to start Rod Zawaki's card. Let's move on to your next spot on the board. And it is finally here. Razor sharp picks in the chat. Everybody's been asking for this game. San Francisco 49ers, 5-5, 2-2 on the road at the Green Bay Packers, 7-3, 3-2 at home at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, 43 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 10 miles per hour in Cheeseland. Brock Purdy out. Nick Bosa out. We knew that Peyton Bethune was going to be out. Travis Ward being gone. So it's an uncomfortable situation here. Trent Williams and John Feliciano are questionable on the line, and that line will be looking to protect Brandon Allen. He's attempted 3 passes in a regular season game over the past 3 years. His last start, 2021, as a member of the Bengals. 9 career starts. He's 2-7. For the Packers, they're a pretty healthy group, but Jair Alexander is out, and Eric Stokes will be in his place. Let's get into the line history here for this spot. We have now. I got in at -2.5 on the Packers on Tuesday. It even got better. You had 2s were around Wednesday, Thursday. And now I'm wondering, do I go for the middle? 5.5 wasn't right. I don't know if I do. And so I'm happy we're talking about this game. Green Bay right now, juiced to the -6. So it looks like we'll see a 6.5 before kickoff. I do have a little bit of time to make this decision. That 6 was juiced up to -113. So maybe it doesn't go to 6.5, but it is kind of trending in that direction. From a total standpoint here, we have a 44.5 at -107. This opened up at 47.5. It was initially going up, but now it is dropping, of course, because Brandon Allen is at quarterback. When we get to the cash flow for this one, 58% of tickets and 48% of cash on the San Francisco 49ers. 76% of tickets, 73% cash on the over. I can't wait to hear this breakdown. Take it away, Rod. Niners, Packers.
Yeah, and you look at the Niners and the Packers. Sure, you look at this as Allen going a step back from Purdy, or is it about the same? For me, I don't think there's a whole lot of Purdy. Maybe a little bit better because he's played a little bit more football. But is it a big difference? We're going Purdy to Allen. Is it really that much of a big difference between who's doing what? It's going to be a game manager at QB behind there. I'm not sold on this Purdy guy at all. He's had his opportunities, and what's he done? Laid an egg so far in those big spots. Sure, he made it to the finals and lost. It happens. Guess what? Allen's made it to the finals as a member of this 49ers team as well. He was on the practice squad, mind you, but he still made it to the finals. He was also on the finals of another team, as you said, with that Bengals team. He finished off that last 5 games when Burrow went down and tore his ACL. He looked pretty good in those 5 games. Small sample size, but he was completing over 60% of his passes, threw for 900 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And we know what that Bengals offensive line was during that season with Burrow. Man, that guy was running for his life. They had 0 offensive line whatsoever, and he still was able to complete over 60% of his passes. So I think there's just a bit of a slight overreaction here to no Purdy in this game for the 49ers. So I think this comes down to who's got the ball last, and it's going to be a close, tight game. These two teams hate each other. They don't like each other. We know this is going to be a grind them out. And just because Purdy's out, that's only one guy. That doesn't make a huge difference. So I'm going to attack the first half here. You're looking at the 49ers here. I'm going to take them plus the points there in the first half. You can get them at, I'm finding 3.5s or 4s in plenty of spots. So I like the 49ers here in the first half. They're going to come out. Allen can be a game manager. You've got CMC in the backfield. Kittle's going to play this game. He's got plenty of offensive weapons around him. He's had all week to practice. They know he's in here. And as Moneyball says, the backup QB isn't as horrible as people think. Give me the 49ers in the first half here. I think this is a 3-point heading into the locker room, and it could be for the 49ers with a 3-point lead heading into the locker room. Either way, we cover that number in the first half. Lay it. Take the 49ers.
Do you want the plus 3.5 at -102 or the plus 4 at -118?
Give me the plus 3.5. I'm not confident it's a 3-point game. We don't need to lay that extra bit of juice for that extra half a point.
Plus 3.5 at -102 for Rod Zawacki. Then we have Sunday night action from Rod, which is great because we'll be able to talk about it on our live stream right here on Pub Sports Radio, SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California. The Rams host the Eagles, Rod. We've already set this one up, so take it away.
So I got 2 plays here for you in this one tonight. I'm looking at you look at the Rams offensive line, and it's a sieve. If this Dolphins team over here can rush the QB and force him into some pressure, Stafford's going to be in deep doo-doo tonight because he's going to be running for his life in this one tonight. So I'm going to lay it with the Eagles. They are that much the better team. I don't trust Stafford for the Rams at all. It's going to be one of those spots here in SoFi that, hey, he had a good game last time out. He didn't throw an interception. So the first play we're going to make is we're going to take Stafford to throw an interception. I see it at Stafford to throw an interception minus 130, I believe, in spots. So that'll be the first one. He didn't throw one last game, but he did throw one the 6 previous games before that. He had a pick. So we're going back to Stafford to get a pick in this one, which will help the Eagles in the long run because they turn those into a quick 7. And might be a pick 6, but we'll take the pick 6 because we'll also take the Eagles in the full game tonight to hand it to the Rams, lay the 3.
We have the Stafford interception as well as the Eagles. So we just had Ragu on the same angle, and he took the -3 at plus 106. You can have the -2 sorry, you took the -3 at plus 106. You could have the -2.5 at minus 117. What would you prefer?
We'll take the -2.5 at minus 117.
-2.5 and minus 117. Before we get into the next spot in our final spot on the show, a teaser from Rod Zawacki. Let's take a second here. Turnsy's grandpa passed away, died last night at 93 years of age, and says capping with you guys is therapy. Let's have a day. We love you, Turnsy. Our heart goes out to the Turner family. What a family you have. We're really thankful to cap with you, and it's extremely difficult to go through that. So sending love to the Turner family, and just very thankful that we get to cap with you. To Daryl Turner here, I would love that, Daryl. I would love that. I love capping NHL with Rod. Love hearing his takes all the time. So I would absolutely love that. Rod Zawacki,
definitely. And condolences to the Turner family there. Tough break when you lose a loved one. Condolences to you.
No, that's well put. It's very tough. Very tough. Let's get into teaser time from Rod Zawacki here. Saturated, no one has on this show today. Wait, no, that's not true. I'll go over that in a second. That's not true. That right off the hop, we had Bobano on the cards, and same with Troy. And I'm on the under 47.5. Teaser time, Rod. Take it away, my man.
First leg of the teaser, we're going to go to Tampa Bay, and we're looking at Tampa Bay in that game. We're going to take the 6 point on Tampa Bay. If you can find the 5.5, you'll get a plus 0.5 on this teaser, which I absolutely love. I got it when I made the bet. It was at a 6, so I laid the 6 and moved it to a pick'em there for this Tampa Bay team. As the first leg of the teaser, guess what? On the road, they're 14-0 to this 6 point teaser is Tampa Bay. So we're gonna take that as the first leg. Second one, we're going to go with is it the Kansas City game? And you look at the Chiefs off of 6 days of rest or more on the road. When this total is, you want to tease that up and then take the under. So I'm looking at it at what is it, 43.5? Is it moved up? I'm looking. I got it at 43. And I moved that total up to 49. And then I took the under. That in Chiefs games over the last 31 is 30-1 when you take the 6 point teaser up and then take the under. So that'll be the second leg. And then the last leg, we're going to this Houston, Tennessee game. And I love the Texans with that little bit of hook there. And maybe the 8 is scary for a Texans team. So take the Houston Texans as the favorite and tease that down. I teased it at 8 down to 2. You can probably get a little better number than that one now. Houston's covered that as a favorite in 14 straight. So take that one, -2. That's your little 3-team teaser there. I get a plus 260 on that 3-team teaser.
You got it. Locked and loaded for the 3-team teaser. Tampa pick'em, KC Carolina under 49, Texans -2 for Rod Zawacki. By the way, that line has gone back to the Texans. So when we started the show, it's now back at 8. So you're right. We're right where you got it. It's come back to the Texans. -249, Tampa pick'em. Then we have Stafford interception, Eagles -2.5. 49ers first half +3.5. And scary Terry McLaurin over 62.5 receiving yards from our guy, Rod Zawacki. I'm going to pop Rod's Twitter handle here in the chat. Please support our guy, Rod Zawacki. And Rod, tell everybody where they can find your action, my friend.
Yeah, usually you can find me It's on the Pick Dogs drive-thru in the afternoon, or Tony's Picks in the morning. Do a morning show there with Tony's Picks every day, 7 days a week. You can find me there in the mornings, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time on Tony's Picks YouTube channel. You'll see me there every morning going over the day's card. And then you'll find him in the chat most of the days of the week. So I'm always around.
I love it. Thank you so much for finally making your NFL Pub Hub debut. You're a great capper. We all love working with you in the community. So thank you for your time. I popped his Twitter handle there at HotRod76. Click on it and please support our friend Rod Zaki. Rod, thank you so much for your time. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Hey, thanks for having me, Jimmy. It's great to be here. You know, all the cappers of the show. It's like one big giant family. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Without you guys here, we're not doing this. So exactly, one big family that came together because of some tough times. So absolutely love it. We have a bunch of us have stuck together through the whole thing. We have plenty more years of making money and kicking the bookies. But let's have a big day, everybody. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. There he is, Mr. Rod Zaki. Now, last week we had our guy, Jose Cornbread Bouquet, come on and give us one spot. He gave us his best bet, and it cashed very easily. And I thought, man, maybe this is sweet Snips' wheelhouse. Just best bet. That's all we want. Best bet. He's cashed one in a row. Do we hear two? Can we get two best bets in a row? Please welcome our friend, known for the lack of skin, right around, actually known for his cornbread. Please welcome our friend Jose Bouquet to the show. Jose, how are you?
Jimmy, I'm doing well. It's nice to see you. I have some cornbread right here. I obviously have plenty of it because no one ate it, but I have plenty of it, and I'll be feasting on cornbread for the next week or so.
That sounds delicious. While you were making cornbread, I cashed UTSA first half in full game and couldn't believe you weren't there for McCowan's 75-yard run. The punt return for a touchdown. No, Jose making cornbread. Now we can talk about this another time.
I watched it. It was good, and I'm going to enjoy McCowan on the UTSA Roadrunners next year. By the way, Jimmy, easiest bets I've ever made in my life. Easiest bets I've ever made against Cab and Wine Time there. Oh, my God.
All right, well, let's get the best bet. You cashed with the Bears plus 5.5. Can you do it again, Jose? Can we hear two in a row best bets?
Well, you're already on this best bet.
Oh, let's hear it.
It's easy money. Go ahead and count it. Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, I'm on it with you here, and I got the same shit you did this morning, Jimmy. I said, again, friends and family, everyone knows, weekly tradition with my friends. I put in Colts plus 7.5. This fucking pick sucks, you fucking big dumb dummy. Fuck you. This is already over. I mean, of course everyone hates this pick. Fuck you guys. I think the Colts could win outright just like Ragu thinks. I'll take the 7.5. Best bet of the day. It's going to be a nice, easy casher, and I can't wait to watch the coming-of-age story of AR-15.
You know, this line, I wish somebody came into the comment section of the YouTube channel. I had my back when I was just getting lambasted. Plus 7 is now minus 113. This line's moving towards the Colts. Do you want a plus 7.5 at minus 132?
No, I'll take the 7. I think right there with Ragu, I think that they definitely have a chance to win this game outright. I mean, this is a week-to-week league, everyone, come on. So, yeah, I believe in you guys right now, and I believe in the Colts, and I'm going to have some cornbread today and celebrate it.
Well, stick around with me as we review all action. Can we get two in a row? We're asking for two best bets in a row, and unfortunately, BJ's best bet is in Rams plus 3, which I don't have pre-flop action on the Eagles, but that certainly makes it less appealing here. Let's review all action here. Jose's best bet is in. It is the Colts after cashing the Bears last week. Here we go. Also, our Pub Sports Circa Millions. Commanders -10, Cardinals pick 'em, Eagles -3, Broncos -6, Buccaneers -6. Justin McKelvey, stacks play of the day. Not only is it McCaffrey over 107.5 rushing receiving, but he's also used an alternate line for Connor over 99.5 rushing receiving. That alt line is at +160. Shout out to our guy Justin McKelvey and Stacks.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Harold says, haha, everyone on the Colts. We'll see. It's shocking that everyone is on the Colts. Now, certainly not in the public. They're all over the lines, but here with us, we have Aaron, our guy Aaron on Seahawks Commanders together. Seahawks Commanders parlay, big O TD parlay. Aaron Jones, Bucky Irving, and Kareem Hunt at +946. I will follow that as well. Throughout in Nutflush Allen on Eckler rushing receiving over 60 plus at +160, and Redbeard with us on the Colts. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. Okay, so let's review more action here from Cappers in the chat. Cappers on the show. This is from Bobano. Bobano, Colts team total over 20.5, full game over 50. Washington -10. Washington team total over 27.5, full game over 44. We have him on the Bucs -6. By the way, the skunt bag play today came in. Bucs money line, the under 44 at +110. 110. Nuke Worker, Arizona money line, Bears +3, and the Lions -7. Then he just drops the mic and says, I'm out. Mr. Nuke working us. So again, with Bobana over 45 and Patriots, Dolphins, Texans -7, the over 40 and Titans, Texans, Broncos -5, Cards money line. Dutch Boy Fresh gave us Jahmyr Gibbs over 65.5 rush yards. Tyreek Hill over 5.5 receptions. That was the alt line of +116. Matt Stafford over 247.5 passing yards and a SGP. Fairbanks over 1.5 field goals and Texans money line. His 6-point teaser, Dolphins -1.5, Rams +9, Chargers +8.5. Then we have New England, Miami over 45.5 for Ramone Scott. Tennessee, Houston under 40. Denver, Las Vegas under 41.5, -105 for Goster. He's got TJ Hawkinson over 39.5 receiving yards. Darnold over 225 passing yards. Both teams in the Buccaneers Giants game to score a rushing touchdown at +120. Devon Villay over 30.5 receiving yards, over 3.5 receptions at +125. Denver double result at -110. Broncos over 2.5 touchdowns, -105. LJ from H-Town, currently ranked second out of 30 cappers here on the show. First half, Texans -4.5, -109. The under 41 at -108. He's on Mixon 2 touchdowns at +200. Mixon 2 touchdowns, Texans to win at +244. Mixon anytime touchdown and Fairbairn over 1.5 field goals at +121. Chiefs first half -6.5. First half over 21.5. Kelsey anytime touchdown and Kelsey anytime touchdown and the Chiefs to win at +100 and +116 respectively. Then he's got the Lions first half -4, -107. St. Brown anytime touchdown, Lions -106. We have first half over 20.5 in Denver Raiders and Dolphins -7, 2 over 1.5 touchdowns, and Dolphins money line. That's together at -110. We also had Mr. Bombs himself, Penny Bombs in the house here. He'll be joining us on our Sunday night live stream, so join us for that. This is the action that Spenny dropped. Oh, I've got too many here. He's got 70 plus and 80 plus. For DK Metcalf, 70 plus and 80 plus. That's not on that what I just put in the chat. Big Ragu, Colts +7.5, money line +281, under 40.5 in Tampa, New York Giants, Dolphins -7, -117, Eagles -3 at +106, and Hot Rod Zawacki, Scary Terry over 62.5 receiving yards. 49ers first half +3.5. Stanford interception -130, Eagles -2.5. He's got the Tampa Pick'em, KC Carolina under 249, Texans -2 as a 3-team 6-point teaser. BJ gave us best bet Rams +3, and Jose gave us his best bet, and it is the Colts +7. That is our show for today. We're running real nice. We must keep it going. We must keep it going. We must win here again today. Jose, your hair gets a lot of attention.
It definitely does. It definitely does. And I have one more month of growing it out. So I'm very excited to see what happens to it.
We all are, Jose. Yeah. Jose, thank you for coming in and dropping your best bet. Yeah, there's Spenny, 70 plus and 80 plus. Thank you, Spenny. I just didn't have the room to pop it in. Thank you to everybody in the chat. None. Nanya, Bo Jackson, Spenny, Penny Bombs, Aaron Gaza, King TL, Redbeard in the house. Great to have Nut Flush rocking with us. Desaturated, Harold Williams, Aaron Maybe, Big O, Lamont Williams, Daryl Turner, Todd Clinton, Old National, BJ, John Garcia, Sir Mackey's, Loves Pie, Moneyball, Skunt Blaster. All of you guys, truly, truly thank you. WT, Rod Zawacki, Base the Wolf, RVD 420. Great group. Thank you guys so much. Turnsy, our love to your family through this difficult time. Thank you for running with us this morning. We love you and the fam, sending energy and strength to your way, dealing with the loss of your grandfather. Thoughts are with you. JW, Jared TG, great group. Nasty Nate, Drewski, Thomas Maggio. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. We truly have nothing without you. Robert McCormack, Jermaine, it is everything is kicked off. Jose, it's time to go get paid.
Has anything horrible happened since we were on?
I look, because every time something terrible happens right off the hop, so I don't even want to know if something bad's happened.
I think the Colts play at noon, so that would be the one for the horrible thing to happen in. So.
Yeah, the Lions running back to get it started. Thank you, WP, my man. Jose, can you please, final words, bless our action, and lead us into the future?
Yeah, well, shout out to everyone in the chat as always. Jermaine, Nunya, Saturated, and Nunya, if fifth place had to eat my cornbread, Nunya, that would be a blessing to them. My cornbread is amazing.
So why'd no one eat it?
Because I guess who wants cornbread at Thanksgiving dinner, You can't know if it's good if it's still there. It's great. It's great. And by the way, yes, Texans are already up 7-0.
Oh, my God. Chiefs are already up 7-0. See, that's why we don't look.
This is why we don't look. God bless you all. Jimmy, I'll let you know now. I'm going to be on tonight's Sunday night live stream. I am on the Rams as well. I am on both Los Angeles teams this week. Good luck, everyone. It's going to be a fun one. Till then, leche a los bookmakers.